In this lecture, we will look how to optimize our query and write efficient SQL statements. In your professional career also, you will encounter large data sets and it will become more and more important to write efficient queries. So let's start this session with explain query. Explain enables us to find out the performance of our queries without running the actual query. It will also provide us the execution plan of that query in the SQL server. So without running the actual query, you can write that query in the explain statement, and that explain statement will give you the cost of your query, the number of rows that you will be getting from that query, and the width of the result set. The syntax is very easy. You just write explain before your query. So let's start writing this in pgadmin. We'll write explain, select star from customer table. So this explain query will give me the cost and all the details of this query. Select star from customer. So you can see the cost is divided into two parts. First, this 0.00 is the total execution cost of my query before the output. The second part of cost is the total cost of query. This is the total cost of execution as well as the display of the result. And this cost is an arbitrary value and there is no base value behind it. You can just compare this cost value with other cost values, and you can compare the cost of one query with the cost of another query to identify which query is more efficient. The next value is the row value. This is the total number of rows that we will be getting in our output. And the last parameter is the width value. This is the total width of our resultant table. So now let's run another explain statement where we are selecting distinct star from customer table. So we will write explain, and after that we will write our query, which is select distinct star from customer. We have already discussed distinct. So distinct star will give me all the distinct values from my table and it will remove all the duplicates value. So in this case, the explain statement is also giving me the plan of this execution. So you can see we are actually grouping our data on all the available columns of our table. So behind the scene, what distinct keyword is doing is it is grouping the data for all the columns, and then we are also aggregating that data. So you can see that the cost of our query has increased. Earlier it was 0.00. Now the execution cost is increased to 37.77, and this cost has also increased. You can compare different queries using this explain statements and select the most efficient one. You can also use a keyword verbose. So earlier we were only getting the summary of this explain statement. If you write verbose, you will get the full query plan instead of just a summary.